Prepare to get bloody excited. We're talking Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Universal Edition of The Diz Unplugged. This is episode 210 of The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect universal vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. I am your host, Craig Williams. I'm joined alongside by my co-host, Mr. Ryno Clavin.
Hello.
Hello. And as I said for you at the top of the show, today we are devoting this entire short little episode to Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. So I know, first off, you're like, wow, 3 weeks in a row talking about Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. But
you keep this up, we'll do it for 6.
yeah, it's we're going HHN levels on this thing right now today. So I apologize right off the bat for that, but nothing we can do about it. You might have saw last week at some point they announced that on Tuesday the 12th of March that they were going to release new information on it. Well, they came through and actually did that. And we're the better people for it, ultimately, in my opinion. So essentially what happened was they went and filmed a fun little video with everyone's favorite Malfoy.
Lucius. Tom.
Tom Felton. Oh, you were going to say Lucius Malfoy?
I'm a Lucius.
Yeah.
Lucius person.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I can agree. But, Draco, not that bad either.
My lord.
Draco Malfoy.
What is that? Just being whispery?
Just whispering.
A little Death Eater.
Kill the spare. Okay. Yeah, so where was I with all of this? I don't remember anymore. They got Tom Felton to come and do a little video with Alan Gilmore, who worked on all the Harry Potter films and then did some designs for, well, a lot of the designing, pretty much all the designing for everything in the Wizarding World, and to release more details on the new attraction that is coming up very soon here. So June 13th, far way away, and it's getting me very hyped up in order to ride this attraction. I'm very excited for it, but for now we'll just have to sit and stew with the details that we have out there. And so we're going to talk about all the details that were released in the video, a couple others here, there, everywhere, and just go from there. So first off, let's talk about what the official story is of this. And Ryno, do you want to talk about the story? It's the first bullet point.
I sure can.
Okay.
So, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, or Hummerkrummer for short, Hummerkrummer, will take us into the Forbidden Forest to brave the mysteries and thrills beyond the grounds of Hogwarts Castle on a groundbreaking coaster experience unlike any other.
Yes, so that was Universal speak there, their direct marketing that they wanted to do on that. So taking us into the Forbidden Forest, so no surprise on that. And we have to be brave, mysteries, thrills. Wow, that's a lot.
Oh, I am ready.
Yeah, so it's, again, not a surprise, but Hagrid will be guiding us on our journey through this mysterious setting, the Forbidden Forest, that is, in the Wizarding World. So once again, as Ryno had to point out to me last week, I didn't know people were talking about it. No, Hagrid will not be riding on a motorbike with you along the way. This Hagrid will not be doing that, but he will be the main star of this attraction, and I would hope that is the case, considering his name is right in the attraction. But you know what? You can never be too sure of anything at all. So, because, Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, Harry Potter's right in the name for that, and then you got Bill Weasley being the main star of the show.
Yeah.
So
get out of here, Bill.
Hey, I like Bill.
Is Bill the one who becomes the werewolf in the end because he gets bit during the Battle of Hogwarts? I think he does.
Bill is the one who eventually goes on a time traveling journey with
to
his
find
father.
the robot in the woods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually I believe he takes over a space station.
Space Hitler, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was Harry Potter and the Journey of the Ex Machina Force Awakening.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So
I can't
Bill
remember
Weasley.
the name of the other one, though. Which I own.
Which other one?
About Time.
Yeah.
That was it. Sorry. It's about time I remembered it. Boom.
Mel, you got there. You got there. And now there's no going back. So, again, Hagrid is the star of the show on this. And the storyline is that we will be starting out in Hagrid's Care of Magical Creatures class as we board magical motorbikes specifically designed to make us feel the freedom of flight. And the cool thing about this, as we basically knew, like we knew it was going to be on motorbikes. That was a given, and we knew that there would be two options of riding the motorcycle or riding the sidecar. And Universal, again, definitely confirming that it will be in fact two unique experiences riding each oar. So this will not be the same seating arrangement. Based on the way they're speaking, and that's exactly what I would expect. A motorcycle and a sidecar are two very different things, in case you've never had the opportunity to ride in a sidecar.
You know what's going to scare me? I'm already nervous about it, because doesn't it happen in one part of one of the movies? Doesn't the car separate from the bike? I'm not saying they're going to separate and be like, oh, our own separate path, but what I'm saying is if they tease the trick of being like, whoa, like if it, they like do a little like, whoop.
That seems very Looney Tunes-ish to me.
Stresses me out.
It feels like very, very much like Looney Tunes, where it's riding along and it extends out and comes back.
I feel like I'm making that up. It might be Looney Tunes. I might be getting confused.
I mean, I'll be honest. It's been quite a while since I've sat down and watched all the movies in a row, so my brain's not perfect on it. But it feels very cartoonish for something like that to happen. But you know what? We're in a wizarding world. Anything can happen. Hagrid can make a freaking motorbike fly in the air to
his wand is an umbrella, so I don't know how serious I can take this Hagrid fella.
His device to do magic is a umbrella. He flies on a motorbike with a sidecar with Harry along, while a bunch of other people are on Polyjuice Potion, pretending to be Harry, flying alongside. That's a spoiler for 7 Part 1, but I'm not going to tell you what happens. Hedwig dies.
He gets knocked out. Oh, man. Jeez Louise.
Going for the gut punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know what? It's very hard. It's not like that movie hasn't been out for...
That's the movie where I learned Hagrid, where not Hagrid wasn't a girl. Hedwig was a lady.
Yeah. That movie's been out 10 years now, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, and the book's been out even longer. So if you haven't read the books, shame on you. And if you haven't seen the movie, what's wrong with you?
Books? What's book?
Book?
Book. Okay, to continue on with this nonsense, the new roller coaster will combine a new level of storytelling and technology in impressive environments and sets, including an actual forest that will be populated with more than 1,200 live trees. 1,200, count them. That's a lot of trees.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm glad they're real.
Yeah, well, the exciting thing about it actually being a real environment like that is, as you can see with any theme park that's ever planted trees, especially in this situation with the type of like having pine trees, making it a forest, this isn't going to be a static thing where it's like they plant these and it already looks perfect. I mean, I'm sure they are going to get it as full and as ready to go as they can get it, but this thing is it unless I'm completely wrong about how plants work, it's going to continue to grow and they can let it happen as long as it doesn't interfere with the show scenes or the actual track itself. But they can let it truly become a forest.
It really doesn't take that long for the trees to start gaining that extra height either. Because there was a tree when Artie, my dog, loves trees. And there's one particular tree that's split in the middle, where it has the 4 trunks, and he likes to be put into that area. So he always tries to jump up into it, and I have to pick him up and put it in it. And there was another tree that was split in a similar way where he used to have me pick him up and hold him up so he could look at it, but it's too high for me to get him up to it anymore. And he's only lived with me for 5 years. So I'm like, it didn't take that long for that part of the tree to get out of my range of height. And then, I don't know. On top of that, it's gonna be lush and full, and I don't know. I like the idea of a breeze going through and the trees moving. And
it's. I know you have never been there and experienced the attraction, but one of the greatest roller coasters of all time is at a theme park called Kings Island near Cincinnati, Ohio. And basically it takes you out into the forest.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's like any other wooden roller coaster. It has its big hills and stuff, but it literally gets a point where you're just riding on these out and backs going through this forest where you kind of feel a little bit suffocated as you're moving so quickly through. So the fact that this forest, this man-made forest that they're putting in here, can start to grow and develop, and almost it could reach the point where at points you almost feel like a little claustrophobic. Yeah. Again, they'll have to manage it to the point they can't let it get into the ride track, obviously.
No, but they can keep going up, and then eventually it'll be shade, and you'll be moving through these really tall trees, and it really won't. I know it. I'm one of those people when I think they planted trees, great, this will be great in 10 years. But we were just talking about it before we started recording the show that the other wizarding, Hogsmeade has been open for 9 years, and that's mind-boggling to me. So it's going to happen before you know it,
Yeah, and they're going to have this. They're going to have the foliage and stuff, in my opinion, looking show-ready on day one, as they want it to look and appear. If it continues to grow and really does develop, that's even better for them. But they're not going to open it and be like Baron, okay, well, in 10 years, you're finally going to get to ride the attraction that they want you to be upon. This is it's going to look good. The rock work is all going, in my opinion, they're going to try to make it look as perfect as possible. The foliage is all going to look good. But it has the potential to get better. And I really, really, really hope it does. It's just the thought of it in 10 years from now, if it does continue to grow and develop, it's very exciting for me, if you can't tell, which is why I'm rambling on and on about it. But besides that, let's talk about the magical creatures that they have confirmed that will definitely be there. And that includes a centaur. Centaur? Centaur?
I know, now you're making me second guess it.
Yeah.
Centaur. I say centaur.
Yeah.
Tor.
We'll just go with that. The Cornish pixies, that was the biggest surprise to me because they haven't been featured in any artwork or anything yet.
Was that a joke?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, it was a joke.
The only thing I've seen.
Yeah, it was a joke. It fell flat, but that's fine. And then also Fluffy. The 3-headed dog was the other one that they confirmed on that. And they released a little bit new concept art in the video with the attraction. And of course you can see Fluffy in that hiding under the boulders. But
what? Where?
Right. Look at my mouse right here. And that is right there. Oh, yeah. And I got to give a plug for, as always, as I have on other times on Twitter, BioReconstruct, who has continued his insane helicopter journeys around and photographing everything. And he actually did get some awesome shots of Fluffy from the sky on his helicopter, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's from very high up, so it's not very fair to make any judgments on it. But
and plus he's probably a little bit concealed because I'm assuming Fluffy's going to have to be covered from Florida weather.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's part of it too. So it's a little difficult to make too much of a judgment on it. It's going to be much different when you're seeing Fluffy completely up close, but it's cool seeing in the setting. In my opinion,
Yeah.
That's just me though. Feel free to make your own judgment calls on that. So the other thing in the concept art that they released, you can also see the Flying Ford Anglia in its position where it will be in the attraction, and in the concept art, it appears that it is right above where the spike will be in the attraction. So that's
the up part, the part where you're going to go up and then come back down.
Yeah. So originally, I think the original concept, some people were putting it in a different location, not where that is. And then again, my eyesight's terrible, and I didn't pause this long enough and look. And I mean, it just came out today, so I haven't really dug into it too much there. But it looks like that's where the Flying Ford Anglia is placed, right at the top of the spike. And
what's this building though?
It's just a
dilapidated like old building in the forest or something, or you think it's just like, oh, this is part of the grounds of the school?
Yeah, it's inconsequential from what I understand.
You go into it though, I think.
Yeah, but it's you go into it, but then you go right back out of it. It's a cool set piece.
I didn't know if that's where Hagrid was going to be.
No. Hagrid's going to be in a different place.
Probably in his hut, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Going over other details of it, the coaster will twist, turn, and rush forward and backwards at speeds of 50 miles per hour through the forest.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah, so, with the backwards part, obviously, we know you're going to go up the spike, and then you're going to come back down, and that's going to put you into one of the challenging obstacles they described, which is the thicket of devil's snare that you'll get entangled into. And this is where the drop portion of the attraction is going to be. And from what I'm hearing, the drop's going to be pretty significant inside from the elevator drop. And
from the elevator drop? What do you mean?
So it's basically you're going to back up into the building. You're coming back down off from the spike. You're going to come back down. You're going to get in the building with the devil's snare, and you drop down.
I guess you have to, because that's how Harry and Hermione got through it.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
that's cool. So it's going to be just a flat.
Yeah. That's
what you mean by elevator.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
It's an elevator drop down. Think about like a track switch. But instead of a track switch from like left to right and go a different way, it's up to down.
Interesting. That's kind of cool.
It's not the first attraction to do it, but it's it's definitely a first for Universal, which is very cool. So, and it's also a first if you're in the Disney realm of things too. I'm not trying to lump them together, but if you only go to Disney and Universal, chances are you never experienced anything like that before. So very cool. But speeds up to 50 miles an hour. That's
Rock and Roller Coaster, I think, is like 60, like just over 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think it's 59 miles an hour.
Yeah, because Test Track maybe is like 59 or 60, and that's
Test Track
supposed to be the
is
fastest thing, right?
64.9.
Yeah, so think about that. Like, if you've ever done that, like, and that's you outside in a car. That's in 6, 3, and 3. I think about like being in a sidecar going just a little bit slower than that. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, 50 is significant. I mean, that's awesome.
It sounds like, oh, that's a neighborhood speed or whatever, but that's like, no, that's fast.
Yeah, because we have to remember, this is a family attraction. I don't want it. When we say family, I'm not saying family as in like Flight of the Hippogriff or anything on that level. It's just that the height requirement, which we'll say in 1 second, is definitely a little bit more lax, so you can get more children of all ages on. So it's not very low, but I guess I don't need to beat around the bush anymore and say it. The height requirement for it is 48 inches.
That's 5 feet.
So yes, that's not 5 feet. That's 4 feet.
That's 4 feet. I know math.
Yes, 60 would be 5 foot.
That's
this
5
is
feet.
4 feet. So this is the same height requirement as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. So it's technically not too tall, but it's also not the most accommodating. There will be plenty of kids who are still not tall enough to experience this attraction. But with the speeds, I think there's going. If a lot of the stuff that people have put out there, specifically like Alicia Stella, who runs Orlando Park Stop. I apologize. I can't remember the name of her site off the top of my head, but obviously she's a wealth of knowledge on Twitter with the inside information that she gets. If, everything she's posted about has seemed to, for the most part, come true. And if it's like that, it's going to be a scary attraction at points.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to have a level of scares, thrills, all of that. So those are the details we currently know. I want to talk about some details.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you're looking at this view of it, which you're listening, I don't know how to describe, but if it's in the concept art, I think it's on the far lower right-hand corner. Is that Hagrid's hut?
Off by where the Hogwarts Express is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what it looked like when they were building it. So do you think they're going to tear down the other Hagrid's hut?
No.
So there are two huts? Hagrid has two huts?
I mean, they both serve different points. And I mean, here's the thing, too. With this one, this hut is, I'd have to assume that it's going to only be viewable from this attraction. And the other one, they could technically make it so it's only viewable from that attraction. So, yeah, it's some suspension of disbelief in a way. But then again, when you're on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, you're going. The forest isn't safe, so you have to suspend your disbelief at some points about where you're traveling around to.
I guess you do go in the forest in there too.
Yeah. So. I genuinely, that's a question that would fall under the things we don't know, that I don't know personally. I haven't bothered to ask. I can find out. I just don't know at this point.
I'm sorry, my friend Nicole literally texted me a screen cap of the Tom Felton video in the annual pass holder group on Facebook. Someone wrote, and this is exactly what I thought when I was watching it too. Hello, I'm Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
When Tom Felton comes out, because it looks like the opening of the E.T. attraction.
Oh, it absolutely does. And I'm sure someone took that in mind when they're like,
we wanted him to come out with the finger. Somebody needs to splice those two together.
Oh, yeah.
E.T., you need your passport to the universe.
That was good. That was funny. That was a good see by her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Things that we don't know for sure yet, but we can probably give a solid guess on. I'll say right away, locker situation. I have a feeling that you will definitely have to make use of a locker for this attraction. So it's very common with Universal attractions if they are thrilling at any point in time to want to make use of that. So. And if, with the motorbike, I don't know where you would actually store any bags of any kind. So to me, it would only make sense that it's going to continue use of a locker situation there. But yeah, I think that's pretty much a given that you can assume.
I don't think they have a coaster that you can bring your stuff with.
Well, I mean,
in Orlando,
Flight of the Hippogriff and Woody Woodpeckers.
Oh, you do? You can on those?
Yeah.
God, there's no space for it.
Oh, yeah, no. If you're an adult, you already can't fit on there to begin with. So then on top of that, you also need to try to fit your stuff in there too. It's very, very difficult. As someone who's tried it before, I hate it. And that's just me. So that's a given. And on the express side of things, I know, I'll say kind of jumble this together, express/virtual line. Unless I missed it somewhere, they haven't said anything about this yet. I would go ahead and assume that this will go back and revert to the classic style of Universal's policy of saying it's brand new. We're not going to accept any express for a certain amount of time, and then at some point we will change that. I cannot foresee them trying to do a Fallon or Fast and Furious virtual line system with this either. It's virtual line. I feel like there's still promise somewhere in there, but for the most part, it's kind of stupid. So I would pretty much bank on no express for a certain amount of time and no virtual line, but that's also in the things that are possible, but we don't quite know yet. And then soft openings. I would assume that they are going to try to go into technical rehearsals, as Universal likes to call it, because someone in their marketing realizes that soft openings sounds gross. So technical rehearsals, I'm guessing that they will try to have them, but again, you never know. It could be a month out ahead of time that they're able to get it going. It could only be a week before the attraction debuts. It might not happen at all. That's always an option, but it's always a possibility. So I can't think of anything else right now that we currently need to talk about with Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, other than can't wait for it. I'm just even more excited now.
I'm looking at this aerial pictures of the track, and if you watch it closely with your eyes, you can see the twists and turns it's making, and I'm like, ooh, that is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
I am very excited for this.
They're saying it's going to be the next level in storytelling along with the roller coaster, and I'm right there.
And this is the type of roller coaster that's in my wheelhouse. It's not about it can be fast, twisty, turny, and it's not about being like I'm like that legitimate fear of can my body handle this. It's just about being like this is exciting and thrilling, but it's also part of something, you know.
I will never forgive it for killing off my dragon challenge, but I will if it's
you and JJ. He's like, I'm not excited for this because they got rid of Dragon Challenge, and I'm like, I am excited for this brand new offering because it finally completes the land. I feel like,
I would agree with that, but I feel like I have a little bit more stake in the being sad about Dragon Challenge.
I get it, your wife.
Considering
my wife.
I worked there. I was an important person there. I met my wife.
You found love there.
And
you may find it again. In Hagrid.
And Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, coming to a Universal Orlando theme park called Islands of Adventure near you on June 13th, 2019. So that's it. Ryno, thanks for talking about it with me here for this little bit. Thank you, everyone out there, for listening and watching this. If you need any extra information, as always, head over to disunplugged.com, home of our show notes page for this show, all the others on the Dis Unplugged podcast network. There you can find links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our email, uopodcast@disunplugged.com. I know I said this week was going to be an email show. Unfortunately, we had to push that back because of this information coming out, so I hope you'll forgive us. We will get to the emails very, very soon. I promise. I didn't put that link out on Facebook and anything because of it, so we will get there. Promise. I promise. And also, I want to give a shout out to disboards.com in the time being, too. If you ever want to go and chat about Universal Orlando, I highly recommend going to our boards where you can engage in fun conversations, ask any questions that you might not want to get answered by us right on the show, but maybe they're there and available for you, or just help you plan your next vacation to Universal at any point in time. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe, hit that bell button, so you get notified anytime we have a new video about Universal or anything else that we're out there doing, most likely about Disney. And as always, go ahead, comment, and hit that thumbs up or thumbs down based on whether or not you like it. Either way, it feeds into the same algorithm, and it makes it look like we're getting engagement. So you can hate this all you want, but it just keeps pushing us out there in the world. So it's on you. So much
push it real good.
It brings you more joy to hit the thumbs up than it does the thumb down, in my opinion. So go ahead and feed that positive energy. You know how they say when you share a smile with a stranger, it shares, like, it actually genuinely makes you happier? I think hitting the thumbs up button also does that. If you're listening to this on iTunes, go ahead, subscribe, rate, and review us there. And that is all I got for you in this one. So that's going to do it for this episode. We'll see you again next week with another episode of the Dis Unplugged Universal Edition. Until then, remember, we still have yet to change the name.